Price fixing is when competitors adjust their prices of products or services to make a new price the marketplace norm. Real estate professionals who take part in price fixing agreements are forced to pay millions of dollars or even spend time in jail. Hello everybody, Zach here from RealEstateLicenseWizard.com. Today we're talking about price fixing. Let's get started. So what is price fixing? Well, price fixing is the practice of setting the price of a good or service to make a specific price a standard. When competitors conspire to change their prices at the same time or maintain the current price to manipulate supply and demand, this is price fixing. Any agreement, even if implied with other brokerages to set a standard commission rate, violates antitrust law. But it's important to note that price fixing relates more than just the prices themselves. The Federal Trade Commission tells us it can involve credit terms, shipping fees, warranties, discount programs, and financing rates. There's two types of price fixing schemes that compromise a free and fair housing market. They include 1, vertical price fixing, and 2, horizontal price fixing. So 1, what is vertical price fixing? Well, vertical price fixing is when members within a supply chain agree to raise, lower, or fix prices to create a standard. A company setting a minimum resale price increases costs and lowers consumer demand. When a company sets a maximum price, this reduces costs by increasing consumer demand. While vertical price fixing is illegal in all cases, courts are generally more flexible with maximum price fixing, whereas they come down much harder on minimum price fixing. So let's do an example of that, vertical price fixing. If a manufacturer forces retailers to sell their product at a certain raised price with no discounts, this is an example of vertical price fixing. Why? Well, the supply chain members determined that they would fix the price to ensure maximum profit for the company and increase the market price of the good. So what is horizontal price fixing? Well, horizontal price fixing is when market competitors agree to raise, lower, or fix prices to create a standard. The aim of horizontal price fixing is typically to increase consumer prices by making a new higher price the norm. So let's do an example of that. If every competing tire shop within a region raised their rates by 10%, this would be an example of horizontal price fixing, because all tire shops now offer the same higher price. There is no competition, creating a new standard rate and forcing consumers to pay more for their tires. So now you might think, okay, well, what does price fixing look like in the real estate world? Well, that's a great question. One example would be if competing real estate firms met up and agreed to set standard prices for their services and commission rates. This particular price fixing scheme is an example of horizontal price fixing, as it's happening across the entire market. Another example would be if brokers within a real estate firm agreed to adjust their prices to create a new standard. This would be an example of a vertical price fixing, as it takes place within one supply chain instead of the general marketplace. So why is price fixing illegal? Well, there are two main reasons that price fixing agreements are against the law. And one, it's because, essentially it eliminates fair competition, and 2, it raises prices for consumers. Competition is essential in a free marketplace. If consumers only have one option regarding real estate services, this gives the real estate company all the market power. This is an issue because the company can charge significantly higher prices, and consumers have no choice but to pay. But thanks to government interference back in the day, the United States operates under antitrust laws. Now, theoretically, that means that these antitrust laws benefit consumers and give them back the power. But obviously, that's not always the case. So what are the penalties then for price fixing? Well, according to the FTC, real estate professionals engaging in price fixing can be fined up to $1 million and spent up to 10 years in prison. Real estate companies participating in house market price fixing schemes can be fined up to $100 million or twice the gain or loss from their violation. So let's do some famous examples. I'm sure you guys have heard of Tyson Food, the food company specializing in poultry. Well, this big business engaged in a price fixing scheme and had to pay $10.5 million. They're guilty of price fixing and rigging contracts. Tyson's Food is a clear example of why it's crucial to follow antitrust law. Now, there was also a DVD and Blu-ray disc price fixing case. 2 individuals and 4 companies selling DVDs and Blu-rays on Amazon were recently caught engaging in price-fixing conspiracies. While it's still an ongoing investigation, law enforcement has clarified that they will persecute the perpetrators and uphold antitrust law. So in our case, if you're wondering if these laws are still being properly enforced, the answer is a resounding yes. Now that we all know the risks of price-fixing agreements, you may wonder, why would any company partake in price fixing? If it's illegal, they could get fined millions of dollars and even potentially spend time in jail. Well, there are a few reasons that companies would typically do this. Maybe if the market's crowded, maybe it has a bad company culture, maybe they just have a decentralized price setting mechanism. In these cases, it's important for management to step up in price-fixing prone industries and instruct their employees not to engage in anti-competitive practices. There are a few telltale signs to look for, including competitors have identical prices for an extended period of time, competitors announce price increases at the same time, a company's prices have increased or they never drop, or maybe even higher prices make no sense considering the raw costs of materials or services. Now, while none of these examples guarantee that illegal price fixing is happening, they indicate that it may be time for an investigation by the FTC. Now, you may have noticed in the past that every coffee shop in your area raised its price at the same time. And then you might think, okay, well, is that price fixing? Well, the coffee industry may just be responding to changing market conditions and making price changes accordingly. For example, if a war or pandemic is making it more difficult for the United States to access coffee beans, then the price of coffee will inflate. Coffee shop owners need to raise their prices to account for this and change and maintain a profitable business. So that obviously would not be price fixing. So what do you need to know for the real estate exam? Well, price fixing is a vital concept to understand before going into your real estate exam. Remember, price fixing is the practice of setting the price of a good or service to make a specific price a standard. This illegal business practice is best for real estate professionals to avoid, as it compromises a free and competitive real estate market. Now that you have a better understanding of price fixing, click here for more antitrust law violations video and click here to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys next time. Bye.